Hi, Rock Kids. I hope that everyone is having a great day today. I want to talk to you today about the First Wave Project that Pastor Dave has been talking about. You've probably heard the words First Wave, and if you were at church last week or watched church, you saw the big wave pictures and videos. And I want to talk about what's going to be happening at our church. Some exciting things are happening, but just like a wave, it's going to feel a little different around here and a little bit like big things are happening and changes are happening, like when the waves come and hit. So I want to show you first what happens when you're in this big wave. Sometimes, I don't know if you've ever been to the ocean or to the lake, but when big waves come, it kind of feels chaotic. And I've been in Lake Michigan when the waves were really big and it made me scared because they were so big. And so it feels a little bit like chaos and like busyness and like nothing's happening. But sometimes things are happening that we can't even see that are under the water. So what you find when you go, especially to Lake Michigan, are all kinds of rocks. Little rocks, big rocks. And most of them, when you first see them, when they first go into the lake, they're pretty little and ugly. They're not very pretty. And they're not very many colors and they're not very smooth. But what happens is when the waves hit them, they change. So I have here a bottle of water. It has food coloring in it so you can see the water's on top. And on the bottom here I have sand because the sand and the water together with the waves change the rocks that are in there. So I'm going to put some of these rocks in, some of these kind of not so pretty rocks into our water. Okay, then what you can do is you put the lid on and you can shake it. And as you're shaking it, it's like making waves with the sand and the water. And this is kind of what happens over and over again in Lake Michigan and in the ocean, is that the waves and the water and the sand mix together and rub the rocks. And if you do that for a really long time, where you're shaking, really long time, the rocks will change because the sand and the water together make rocks really smooth and shiny and beautiful. That's kind of what's happening around here right now in our First Wave Project. It's going to be pretty messy, kind of like this. Pretty messy and a little bit dirty and a lot different than what we're used to. But in the end, after a while, it's going to take some time. And after all that time, you'll see some really beautiful things that will be happening around our building so that we can tell other people about Jesus in a new and exciting way. If you don't want to shake this for so long, another way that you could do this to make rocks very, very smooth and shiny is to use sandpaper, because all this is sand that they put on paper, and you can rub the rocks that way. But either way, when the sand and the water hit the rocks and the waves, they change into something really beautiful. So I hope you try this week, and if you do, make sure you post it on our Rock Facebook page.